Hello there, and welcome to Fridays with Tab and Chance. I am Tabitha Brown. Oh, this is my husband. I was getting confused with Very Good Mondays, waiting on Chance to cheer. I'm a little under the weather, forgive me. And this is my husband.
I'm Chance, what's up?
You might have to carry the song today because
my
voice ain't what it normally is.
I got it.
Just giving.
Just get
layers.
in. No, just get in at the bottom. All right, hit you. Go ahead, let's go.
Bring the beat in.
Fridays with Tab and Chance.
Ba-dum, bum, bum.
Fridays with Tab and Chance. Boy, you went down there.
I ain't even got a robot in me
I
today,
said, get in the bottom. You went, you said Barry White.
I was doing a water dance.
Yeah, I said, man, is he?
Get in the water.
Friday. He was down there.
But the cold is getting the best of it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Fridays with Tab and Chance. What we talking about today, babe?
I think Tiff gave us a very good, it was a question, I think, that came in, or somebody was talking about temptations. And then the topic off camera was at a recent renewal. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That the facilitator had made a comment about temptation.
They streamed it live, so I'm sure everybody heard it.
About temptation, and I thought it was a good topic.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good topic. And
Okay.
Can you say what you thought he said again?
So at Kevin Melissa's wedding vow renewal, the pastor was saying that temptation is when marriages are really tested, basically, is what he was saying. He was like, in it, how you go up in success. Like now that they have even more success, there's a different kind of temptation that may come your way. And that's when you start knowing like what your vows mean, right? This is when you start to really put the work into your marriage. And so that's in a nutshell what the pastor was saying. And so I thought, okay, so with this topic, I think a lot of people think with success and us having like new success in the last like 5-6 years, that there's even more so temptation. But I also think to something that you said, temptation comes in levels. It not always just people. Sometimes you're tempted to money, to taking on a different partnership, or you might be tempted to do an investment just because now you have
The means.
Yeah, the means
Financial
to
means.
do so. I think it's a lot of different temptations that can happen with, it could be spending when you shouldn't just because you know you got it or you think it's coming. Kanye used to say, spend the money before I get it, okay? I sure missed that, Kanye. Anywho, but there's so many different levels of temptation, so I think we can get into all of it.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting topic because I think, as Carlos said, we obviously we had a little conversation about it before we went live. I think when people hear it, he referred to it as low-hanging fruit, that usually they think about temptation from others in the physical, from people trying to get in between our marriage. Mm-hmm. How would you respond to it? Has it increased?
With like outsiders?
Yeah.
Don't nobody be trying to get Auntie Tab like that. You know what I'm saying? No, I think to me, it's been more respect. Like more appreciation for our marriage. I'm trying to think like in the last 5 years now. I did have this one time when I had my hair in braids. The little young guys was trying to holler at me at the mall. But
I remember that.
You remember that? Hey, man, you better watch me when Donna braided up. You better watch me when Donna is braided up.
What you always say, baby? If they ain't looking,
If they ain't looking on
oh.
one. Okay, if they ain't looking on one.
Hey, as long as they ain't touching you, they
right.
doing nothing crazy, little fella. Catch a charge on your little buddy.
But most people, if they know me and if they know us, it is so much respect, so much admiration for our marriage, for our covenant, right? I think the temptation has decreased and the respect has increased.
I agree. Yeah. That's exactly what I was waiting to say. I don't practice anything any differently.
Yeah.
So, like, prior to the success, I always made sure that I had a small circle of people and that I didn't go to places where I didn't feel like a married man shouldn't frequent. Where I mean, of course, it's places where you're gonna go and you're hanging out with your fellas and you'll pick up on the energy and be like, okay, this ain't for me, right? In my married life. But I'm not gonna make that a place that I frequent, that I continuously go.
You ain't gonna put yourself in the temptation.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
space.
do it. Like, I'm not gonna be an alcoholic and be going to a bar, right? And then wondering why I can't stop drinking, right? These were things that were told to me. These were things that were told to me early on from your dad, from other men, and and I just moved like that. So I continue to move the same way. Nothing changed with that. And like Tab said, we have a brand of love and family and wholesome and those type things. So I think that the people who know us, they respect us.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't have women even engaged. Now, they not, I mean, in the beginning, I think some of these little nasty women were trying to test. They was trying to test, but as we grew and I think as we stayed consistent and loving in front of the world and supportive in front of the world, I think now that has changed. I can't tell you the last time that I even felt any energy like that.
Yeah.
So I agree. And
unless they here at the house, because we be at home.
At home. We be at the crib.
We be in the house. Yeah. I mean, I travel a lot. And so, and when I travel, I have events and I go eat with my team. Baby, I be in their hotel room. Like, everybody know, like, once they have eat, she done. I'm in that room and we be on the phone with each other like we kids on FaceTime.
Now.
But I think you got to kind of set yourself up
for success.
For success that way.
Yeah.
You know, you still gotta kind of find your dating field. Like, you know, that's my boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta kind of have those kind of moments. And then sometimes you gotta also be all right with, in y'all alone time away from each other, being alone without the thought of temptation or thinking about, I guess, anything else. I guess if that makes sense.
That makes complete sense. Now, temptation is the topic. So now you're gonna say people are probably asking, okay, so that means that you haven't felt it from others. Have you felt tempted? And my answer is gonna be the same. No, because I in watching my wife over the last 5-6 years, that's made me more attracted to my wife. If you ain't doing what my wife doing, you ain't really got like you ain't looking good to me. Like, that's something that if you think about it, and this just, you know what I mean, this is just me. I'm bragging a little bit. It is what it is. You ain't writing books, you ain't in Target, you ain't doing TV shows, you ain't winning Emmys, you can't compete with my wife. I only got eyes for my wife. So in that aspect, I don't have and then look, y'all, for the married people out there, for the people the people who ain't married, but they've been with one person for a long time, and you are a little older. Man, I ain't trying to do this again. I ain't trying to I ain't got, listen, she
It ain't
know
no
me.
starting over.
I don't have to be embarrassed by certain things, man. And I'm comfortable with my wife. And the topics that we talk about, the things that we disagree on, we kind of know beforehand. Relearning another person, that's just not in my, I ain't got it in me. I ain't got it in me. So that can kind of stunt anything. That can kind of stunt anything right off the bat to be like that. Now, Tab mentioned something that I can honestly say in the topic of temptation, that I do think is something that not that I was affected by. So because you have access to things, now you got new relationships, you got new you got new money. You got new money. I always hate saying certain words. I don't like saying, y'all. I'm still uncomfortable with. I'm still
new money, celebrity. We don't like them words.
I don't like them words.
I don't mind new money, but
I mean I do, but it's just I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But sometimes having access to those things you will be tempted to venture into things that you have no business venturing in, or that you have not done the work yet to be able to be successful in those business ventures. And that could be any kind of business. I have been tempted in that way to be like, man, I want to get into that, right? And solely because of that, I know the people, I got the money, right? And that does apply for a certain kind of person in this world. They can do that, but I had to remember who I am. I don't just like doing something. I want to thrive in it. I've always been the kind of person that wants to be the best in whatever I do. And sometimes just with those two things, you can't be that. So in temptation, in that, if you define it in that way, just in that, and then too with I love Jordans, I love sneakers, and I can get a lot out of hand with that, right? But
I think another back to people. Thank you too. Temptation. There can be a temptation to be friends with somebody who doesn't serve you.
Yeah.
Right.
Relationships.
Right, because especially when you get to a certain place, right? Now, like you said, we don't like to say celebrity, but you may have admired certain people, whether they be basketball players or actors, producers, whatever, for years, like you were a fan of theirs.
Man.
And now these people want to actually be your friend. They want to like come over or hang out with you. That's very tempting. But you got to also make sure that y'all's life are in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, man, I want to be friends with, such and such. But then you got to step back and make sure that with that friendship, knowing what I know about them, or how they move, or, are they married? Are they in a relationship? Do they value marriage? You got to look at everything before you decide, I'm going to just take on some, new friends because I'm tempted by what I see, right? I think that plays a huge role in a lot of relationship downfalls because you don't look past the temptation, right? You don't look at like the big picture. And so I think for us, a lot of times we've been excited about people like, dang, they know us. Right? They want to hang out. And then it's like, wait a minute, let's make sure that, we feel the same way. And then a lot of times it'll die out.
Feel the same way for the right reasons.
Exactly.
Too.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's a major thing. And a lot of times we also got to remember, going back to what he said when it comes to us being tempted, like, is it worth losing everything you've worked for? Like, we done got to this place.
Man.
It's like, is it worth it? Right? So you got to look at everything. I think, and I don't want to confuse temptation with, I don't know if admiration is the word, because he's a man and I'm a woman. So, and we jokingly can do this. Like, we could be out and see somebody like, oh, she's beautiful, right? He ain't gonna say no man's handsome, but he'll be like, hey, that brother put together. You know what I'm saying? He's like, hey, he squared away right there. That boy sharp right there, Right. Those are natural things to admire, someone's outer appearance, but that's not temptation. And I think sometimes, depending on your track record, yours might be temptation. You might be on the admiration break right now. You might not be able to do that. But we 26 years have been through so many things that we're at a place in our relationship where we can comfortably talk about just about anything and do that. You know what I'm saying? Have that kind of conversation. But I think it goes back to the values, what we've built together. And ain't nobody else getting the life that we got. Baby, this 26 years, we can put this thing in together. Like, ain't no temptation finna
Ain't gonna happen.
tear this up. Like, we're just not doing it, right? But I think, back to the point of shopping temptation or spending temptation.
Yeah. No,
I use discernment. Shopping one thing, that's a little different. I don't really be shopping like that.
we ain't gonna tell the truth.
Huh? It ain't really shopping. What I do, I acquire the things the Lord said I could have.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
All right.
Oh, yeah. Shopping is more like, grocery store and stuff. When I purchase a bag or some shoes and stuff, the Lord has brought me there. The second part of that said, how do you get back focused? Stay focused. See? But I will say, when it comes to investing, like the temptation, I am very much so a gambler. Chance is not, unless he's in Vegas, but even then he's very moderate. He is my balance to help me fight the temptation to be like, hey man, maybe we should invest a little extra. He'd be like, babe, we staying safe. We not doing that. And I'd be like, okay. But there's like a little bit of money that might be mine that I can play with. He'd be like, you can do that with you go ahead. But this money that we got for us, and we gonna retire and do all this with, this gonna stay right here. I think that's a healthy temptation, if that's a thing, as long as you still having the conversations.
I mean, no, I think you said what it is. It's not a temptation. That's a different. That's a calculated risk. That's you saying, for the things that I want to gamble on, right? That's something completely different for me. To me, anyway. There's a lot of things that I'm tempted to do, right? And because of failures or, just God putting me in a position where before I could do it, he was, shedding some light on some things I back off of, right? I don't look at that as the same thing as with you and your. And then too, because we got that balance and because you have succeeded more than you failed, obviously, that I don't look at it the same way. I think I would define yours more as a calculated risk. I do want to go down. I do feel like, what do you think, babe, would have happened? Because you a good point on the 26 years. This is where the relatability. And I know somebody who is sitting there watching saying, I wonder what would have happened if they got their money when they was 23, if they had that success when they was 24.
We wouldn't be sitting at this table. We wouldn't be sitting here. My son wouldn't have been born.
And that's...
I don't think we would have made it.
And I don't feel no kind of way about that.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
And I'll tell you why.
Like experience living is how you get to a point to where you can have a conversation about temptation and be realistic about it. But if you have not lived and understand that change, how we talk about change is necessary, change is the inevitable, change, it's like it's going to happen. And temptation is a part of that. And a lot of people are going to succumb to it in a young age.
The temptation, yeah, maybe for you, right, because you were, as a young man, but I think if success had came that early, the temptation for me would have been, I'm more tempted to leave because I know I can survive on my own.
Yeah.
Right? There were times that we stayed together because we couldn't survive without each other. This is the truth. It won't love, it won't, it was like, dang, I can't afford to leave. We're gonna have to work it out.
We stuck.
And throughout that time, we just fell back in love.
Yeah.
But there were times where we absolutely were not in love with each other. We loved each other, but being in love is completely different.
Yes.
There were times we did not like each other. There was times that you wouldn't even know we was married.
Yep, walking by each other.
But we could not afford to leave each other.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you couldn't even afford to be tempted.
So what if, but with that being said, when you say that, if you throw temptations right in the mix of that.
Yeah.
Where like y'all on one of them seasons in your marriage where it's like, hey, I don't like him. And I don't know if I'm in love with him.
Yeah.
And then temptation comes knocking on the door.
So I feel like I was about to sneeze. Go ahead.
That goes hand in hand what I said at the start of the conversation. Mm-hmm. You have those moments. We have less of those moments now, right?
Yeah. Ooh.
But what I know now at 45 that I did not know at 25 is how to eliminate the possibility of temptation coming in during those moments.
Yeah.
And life teaches you that. So, and that's what I was getting at when I was saying, like, it's how you set yourself up. If you are exploring the places where temptation can present itself and you don't understand that marriage is those ups and downs, those seasons where it's like, hey, look, we ain't on the same accord, and you still going to locations where temptation is right there to fulfill something, or you going to a place to where you could be subject to it.
You're setting yourself up.
Then you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
And if you think that every marriage is supposed to be 26 years of, can't believe you said there was a point where you didn't love me, then I don't believe.
You ain't living in truth.
You ain't
we telling y'all the truth.
Yeah, you ain't understanding what this thing
we
is.
We were together since we were 19, right? Before we even knew who we were.
What?
Right? I ain't know who I was. He didn't know who he was. So we didn't even get to know who each other was, because how am I know him if he don't know him? Right? I did.
But you think you know who you are.
I thought I did, right?
You think you know. And you think you know what you want.
But I think that in that early age, to your point, if success had came and we had money to do whatever we wanted to do, do I think some type of way we could have found our way back to each other? Maybe, we'll never know.
Yeah.
But I do know without money, I was often tempted to go back home. I was often tempted to be like, dang, I could go back home to North Carolina. I could go back to my dad's house, or I could figure it out, in my mind, in the back of my head, like, man. Because family is also temptation. Safety is temptation. But they also can dilute make it messy, your relationship, if you let them in. And so, even though I was tempted to, like, I'm gonna just call my daddy, I'm gonna call my mama, right? When those times were so bad, I didn't even fall into that temptation. Did I call and maybe complain or talk about stuff and gratefully
talk straight trash about me?
Had somebody to talk me down off the ledge in many of those seasons. So I was able to avoid everything I was thinking. Like, not saying mistakes, but decisions of just quitting altogether. But I do think that we have to remember that sometimes our family is also temptation. Going backwards is also temptation. Like, those are ideas that you think it's better. Because temptation is thinking something is better than what you already have, in my opinion. Or you're being tempted for something that you think is going to make you feel good in the moment. So I think we must remember those parts of of temptation as well. But that success, I'm glad it didn't come. Also, I would be broke right now. If it came in the 20s, maybe we wouldn't have it.
I don't know now.
You'd be broke.
I don't know.
You'd be broke.
I don't know about that.
Broke and broken without me.
I don't know. I would have been broken without you.
Huh?
I would have been broken without you.
Come on, babe.
I would have.
Yeah. You see how I fixed your hair last night? I gelled that up for you last night.
I don't know if that money would. I can get tight on the dollar now.
You can get tight,
Get tight when that dollar.
but you won't invest nothing.
If that dollar
but you won't invest nothing.
It would have reminded me of Lewis Street going back over there.
It'd have still been in the shoebox though, so it wouldn't have grew.
That shoebox had power.
You still been pinching
That
off of
Nike shoebox was better than any bank in America.
Broke.
That shoebox took care of us, man.
It did until it didn't. We was going in there. It was like, hey,
now you getting a different kind of shoebox. You probably one at the door right now.
Two of them. And that's my business. But it served its purpose.
Yeah, it did.
Which the shoebox that we used to keep money in to save kept us together. Like it made us grow stronger.
It did.
It also helped with temptation.
You know, I feel like with this celebrity, I think I'm gonna piss some people off. But
I don't know what you're finna say.
With the celebrity status, right? And with people with the perception of money, because don't nobody know what we got. Y'all don't know what these people got. Some of these people can be just internet famous and not have no money. Don't nobody know what people got. It's just a perception, right?
But old girl said last night, your broke is not my same broke. Yeah. Your rich is not my same rich.
It's defined differently, right? And I think when you see people on TV, you see people in these spaces, we just kind of define them one way. But I'm saying all that to say this. I think that people, these are good questions. I like the question of temptation, right? Because I would have, at some point I thought the same thing. Like, man, I know they got all kind of people coming their way. Their life must be this, their life must be that. But what I have learned is that, or what I feel, is that some of these people use that as an excuse to do with their heart, what they really want to do. If you want to be loyal, if you don't want to be tempted, I think there's a way that you can carry about where you can turn that energy into a different kind of energy. And the proof is in the pudding. How you carry yourself can make a person, you ain't gonna make everybody, but I feel like you can make more people respect you and not desire you. I do. I think how you, with the energy you put out, if you saying, no, I'm a married man and I love my wife and I love my kids and I'm gonna be a father to my kids and I'm gonna be respectful of my mama, I'm gonna be the man that my mama always desired to have, I heard her express. If you say, I'm gonna do the things and be an honorable person, I think that you'll have less people trying to have you and desire you. And you have more people who say, no, I respect that man because that's the kind of man that I wish that I was in company of, or that my father was, or that my brother is, or I honestly believe that. I do. Now,
disagree.
Let me say this. I think there's a lot of women who, I'm gonna use him. This is the man, I'm gonna use it because this is the man that I love. I think it's a lot of women who always talk about Denzel Washington, right? And how fine he is, how he walk and all that, right? But I think there's more respect there for Denzel and how he has carried himself, and they all know that Denzel is an honorable man because how he's carried himself. And I think that if you want that kind of energy, it's not hard for you to go get it. Because Denzel ain't out here. There's a reason why we love Denzel. And yeah, he's a great actor and all of that stuff, but I think that's what makes him so appealing. But I honestly feel if it came down to it, most of them would say that they respect him more so than they, what's the word?
Attempted, or what? This is
sexually attracted to him, or You get what I mean?
I think that you're thinking of a group of people who have morals. There's a bunch of people out here who live a perfect image life of a family man,
Yeah, I said you
family
could control
woman,
it.
right? No. You're saying that you can control what you put out, how people treat you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is not true. Case in point, right? I don't believe there's nobody with a cleaner image than LeBron James. That brother has a beautiful family, has done so much for community. Like there's nothing about him that has said, y'all, I want y'all to come want me. But the women be
That's a
wanting
good example.
LeBron James. They gonna try their best to tempt. That's in like NBA players, period. NFL play like people with a certain status, especially men. I feel like it might be a little bit different with women, but especially men. Women, there's some women who have morals and they respect that they're married, that they have families. They respect that. But there's some women and men out there, they don't care. They trying to get theirs. They want a little piece of it.
A little piece of what?
Everything.
Everything what?
You know what I'm talking about. Give me a little. Hey, they rather have they'll take the thing that jingle, but they also rather have the thing that folds. You know what I mean? Okay, so.
Oh, we hoping it ain't folding.
But what I'm saying is, in a perfect world, everybody respect everybody. Lost over there about to die. But what I'm saying
trying my
is,
best for that thing not to fold no more.
Everybody ain't got those type of morals, babe. And
I get it. I'm just saying, I think some people lean in on this excuse. But that's a great example.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Those are two great examples, though. I think but I agree with you. I agree with you. I know that man got his hands full because.
Yeah, and him and many others, I feel.
But I also think that there's the other side of it too. That you do have some control over it, but not. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you definitely have the control over, like what you said in the beginning, where you place yourself.
Yeah.
How you present,
Yeah.
like where
well,
you.
And I'm talking about temptation too from both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it is our responsibility, each person. We have to be a respecter of self. When you know you're in a marriage or in a relationship, you got to be the person for yourself to say, I got to do this for me and mine. Because it's just like driving a car. You got to drive for everybody around you too. You got to be looking, make sure ain't nobody running lights, and you got to pay attention to everything to keep yourself safe, right? So don't put yourself in a situation that would threaten your safety. That's my opinion on it.
I agree, baby.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I ain't tempted.
I ain't want to tell you that the men be knocking on my hotel doors, but I didn't want to tell you that. They be out there.
If they get
They be out there, baby.
Listen
they be waiting in the lobby for me. They throwing their draws.
They gonna catch me on one and they gonna
The dunts be in
F.A.
the lobby, baby. They
F.O.
be throwing them back.
One of them days, they gonna find out that Chance was actually in there and he really is about that life. And if their security letting them get up there, somebody about to get fired.
They in the lobby, babe. They out there.
Oh, we're fine.
They coming in on the food service tray.
None of them big ass drawers anyway. They ain't none of them. I ain't tripping on none of them.
But yeah, so I think this is great. This is great conversation. I think that we are not as different as you may think that we are. Success, right, can bring about different levels of temptation, but at the end of the day, you still gonna have to live your life accordingly. Listen, I feel like back in our 20s, when we worked in the call centers, temptation was way, way more.
That's what I said when we started. Yeah. I was like, I disagree.
Yeah, it was way more.
It was worse before.
Yeah.
It was completely different before, but now because I think of the platform and how people see us, and because of how we contribute to how they see us, I don't have no issues. None. Like I don't never feel like nobody being disrespectful. at all. I don't. I think all our people, the people we encounter, everybody's respectful. And we all on the same page of what we trying to do. So.
Okay.
But.
Why some little old ladies around you though?
What old ladies?
I'm just gonna watch because
them your fans.
I got my eye on.
Damn, them ladies don't be
The
wanting.
little gray look nice on you now. You done grew your beard out.
Them little ladies, they ain't thinking about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't thinking. They ain't doing.
Kev's mom called for your phone number.
That's because that's my friend, and she got a book that I'm about to read. And I'm gonna tell y'all to go buy her book too.
Yeah.
Miss Frederickson.
Okay. All right. That's it. You done?
I'm done.
Last words.
No, that's it.
Listen. What's the verse? What's the song? It's very terrible. What was the Beyonce movie, Fighting Temptations? What was the song that her and Cuba?
I don't remember, baby.
All right, I thought I was gonna have a moment, but I'm not as sharp today as I normally am.
Mm-hmm.
This cold is kicking my butt. Okay, but I was tempted to be great anyway.
When we're not gonna talk about what we got coming up.
What we got coming up?
Yeah, what we got coming up. What we was talking about last night. Are we gonna tell the people? No?
Oh,
yes? No?
We're gonna do a video for that, like a regular video.
Oh.
Well, we can tell y'all we are going on a tour. Okay, we're gonna bring, y'all been asking, and we're gonna bring y'all Fridays with Tab and Chance live. Okay.
And y'all you'll be able to participate in.
You'll be able to be in on conversations, and we'll, do the meet and greets, the whole nine. So
don't be bringing your problems to the thing, talking about
we ain't gonna be able to fix nothing, but we will have a conversation with you. we can help y'all talk about it. We answer the questions.
We're gonna have a good time. We ain't gonna be up there dedicating the whole thing to counseling no couples.
But it will be good. It's gonna be date nights on Fridays with Tab and Chance. Okay, so
put on
get
some clothes.
put your clothes on, get your date night ready.
Bring the beat in.
And coming soon. What cities would y'all like us to come to? Let us know. If y'all know some venues you would like us to come to, let us know. All right? All right. Very good. Until then, baby, y'all go about y'all business and have the most amazing day. But even if you can't have a good one, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's. Love y'all. God bless you. Thank you for watching this episode, honey. And if you liked it, go ahead and click right here for more of those episodes.
And if you haven't already subscribed, please remember to do so.
Very good.